Hello and welcome to pmclounge.com. Today, let's discuss the conduct procurements process. Now, as always, if you're interested into reading articles, first link in the description is going to take you to an article on this topic over at our official website, pmclounge.com. Check that out. Also, second link in the description is a playlist of every single video that we have done on procurement management knowledge area. So two important links, check them out. Let's get started. So to begin with, let's see where conduct procurements process lie. Actually, it is the only process under the execution process group. The knowledge area, of course, is procurement management knowledge area. And this is the PGKA mapping, procurement management knowledge area, executing process group. This is the process that we are talking about. We've already covered the others. Second link in the description, the entire playlist will have every single video. So let's get ahead and understand more about conduct procurements. Now, what exactly is conduct procurements? What are you actually doing here? And as the name suggests, this is the process when you would do the actual work of procuring for your project. So this is where you're doing the procurement part. This involves three steps. Number one is obtaining seller responses, or seller is also known as contractors. So obtaining their responses. Number two is selecting a seller or a contractor. And number three is awarding the contract. So obviously you already have the kind of work that you need to contract out. You are going to float that out in the market so that seller can respond to your flotation, respond to your ad or whatever that you have sent out, right? Letting everyone know that this is the kind of work you are looking for help with. And sellers will respond. You are going to obtain their responses. You are going to select a seller out of the responses that you have received. And then obviously, finally, you're going to award the contract of the work. So this is the three-step process of conducting procurements. A quick reminder, if you're looking for PMP preparation book recommendations, head over to pmclounge.com/resources. That's where we have listed our favorite books. Hundreds of PMP aspirants have cleared their exam with these resources. All right, moving on with our discussion, a good question that you can ask here. We talked about the three steps, right? A good question that you can ask is, how did you select a seller? You obtained the responses and then you selected a seller, right? So how did you do that? This is where the source selection criteria comes in handy. This is something we have already discussed. This is where source selection criteria, a document which is actually an output of the planned procurement management process. So this document comes in handy. It contains the criteria of how you're going to select a source or a seller or a contractor. Now, this document, the source selection criteria, is not the only document, not the only output of the process that I just mentioned, the planned procurement management process, that is required at this point. You are also going to make use of other outputs of the planned procurement management process, like make or buy decisions, procurement SOW, and other procurement documents like RFI, RFP. And if you're wondering why these documents are going to be used, let's take a look at the next slide. All right, so first of all, make or buy decisions. This tells you what exactly do you want to contract out and what are you going to do in-house. So obviously, when you're conducting procurements, right, you need to know what exactly is the kind of work that you want to contract out to a seller, to a third party contractor, right? So this is where make or buy decisions come into the picture, because you need to know what needs to be contracted out and what is something that you can manage in-house itself. Procurement documents like RFI, RFP, right, request for information, request for proposal, these are also sent out to the potential sellers. This helps in gathering information about their capability to do the work and also how they would do it, right? How are they going to accomplish the work that you are planning to contract out? That comes in as part of RFP. while the information about the capability of the sellers, the contractors, that comes in as a response to RFI. Source selection criteria, yet another output of the plan procurement management process that is used here. This criteria, like we talked about in the previous slide as well, this ensures that you evaluate all the sellers with the same criteria so that there's no favoring here, right? So everyone is evaluated on the same criteria, and this maintains fairness. This is how you should be selecting a seller. Procurement statement of work, or the SOW, this is where the scope of the work which is to be contracted out, right? The entire scope of the work which is to be contracted out is documented in the SOW. So these are some of the documents which are required at this point. Now, if you're wondering and haven't guessed this yet, these documents are actually amongst the most important inputs of the conduct procurement process. The documents that we talked about, the ones which were the output of the plan procurement management process, these are the inputs to the conduct procurement process. Now, these are not the only inputs of this process. And can you guess some other inputs for this process? Let me know in the comments. Definitely looking forward to your answers. So that's all that we had in this video. I hope you were able to understand what conduct procurement process is all about. Smash that like button if you got value out of it. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to stay notified whenever we upload our new videos. And also don't forget to check out the website pmclounge.com, your number one free PMP resource.